What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
A couple quick reminders to download and play Greedfall, Man Eater, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, all offered on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those, come back at the end of this month for Plus Club. Let us know what we thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of them. And our game of the month picked by me is Deep Rock Galactic, which is a 4-player cooperative dwarf in mining game where you shoot shit. Make sure to play that if you want to, or if you play in the past or think about playing it in the future, come back at the end of the month for Game of the Month and discuss that game with us. And yeah, type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment if you'd like to be considered on TastyCast, which we will be doing soon. If you want your comment to be considered, we read it, we reply to it. Otherwise, we pick at random, so type in hashtag AskTLG. We have Discord, link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further than liking, commenting, sharing this video around, and subscribing if you're new around here. All right, Tasty Tuesday. We got two things to discuss, but they are just videos. So we're going to watch these two videos, do some commentary, and then discuss them. So first video we're watching is the Dead by Daylight dev tapes, volume 1, which is interesting. I've only recently gotten back into Dead by Daylight, so I kind of assumed they were already doing development videos. I'm sure they have been, but it's interesting that this is volume 1 of these. So if anybody's been following the game for a while now, what were they doing before this? In this, they talk about UI updates, animation updates to the game, and a couple other things that they're bringing to the game. As I said, I've been playing the game recently quite a bit. I think I've put about like 100 hours or so into it recently. And shout out to Cody as well. He's been playing a lot too. So this might be interesting for him to watch. You don't play the game at all.
Except for the one time I had to.
Except for, yeah, you had to play, and you played against a couple of us. It wasn't against random.
Josh was the killer, and you were with me.
Yeah. So very minimal, but you have interacted with the game.
Yes.
But this still might be interesting to see, because I'm sure this is a game you could probably watch people play.
For sure.
So this is a 15-minute video, so we should probably just jump into it, talk about it, and yeah, I'm a huge fan of Dead by Daylight, so this is actually kind of exciting for me. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, and go. Sweet baby David King.
This first edition of the dev tapes. This video will cover the too long didn't read of our dev update blog post. So today we're bringing in a few guests that are going to present upcoming changes in design, UI, and animation for the PTB early next week.
This is one of those games that every time an update comes out, people are pissed and people are happy at the same time because it's always fucking fluctuating.
Balance changing.
Yeah. All right, Sarah. Big changes coming for the UI. First off, let's start. Why are we changing the UI in the next update? And what are we changing?
So when players log in to the PTB for the first time and start their match, the biggest change that they're going to notice is that we've completely redesigned the layout of the HUD. This means that the position of some of the elements that you're used to are no longer in the places that they were before this update. Essentially, what we've done is we've broken each of our pieces of our UI, which we refer to as widgets,
you
into
don't
their
want to be
own
in their axe
sections
drawer when they're looking in there for axes.
We had reached a point with the UI where our
I fucking
current
hate that
live
guy.
UI was no longer able to support all of the features that we wanted to add from the game design team. So we needed to find a place to give each of these UI elements a new home that had enough room for us to add animations and visual effects, as well as any new pieces of information and features.
All right. Do you want to tell us a few examples of what we can expect in the new UI changes?
Yeah, we have a couple new features that you'll notice. The biggest and most obvious one is probably hook accounts. We now have a separate widget for killers, which displays the number of times you have hooked players.
Yeah, I was noticing
in
over
a
here.
match. This is a positive way of displaying a killer's progress in the match. Previously, we found that for killers, the only sense of any gameplay change that they got was the generator count slowly counting downwards, and this, of course, doesn't feel very good if you're a killer. So we wanted to give them something that they can feel proud of and
So what's
look
the
back
hook
and
thing for?
see their progress throughout the match.
So, like she's saying, when you're playing killer by yourself, you're just looking for people to kill. But as the match progresses, you're just running out of generators. So that can feel kind of like, I guess, demoralizing. For me, it's like, it pushes me to go, I gotta get this shit done. But for some people, it might be a deterrent for them to want to play killer. They added that thing on the side, that circle, and it's showing you how many times you've hooked people, kind of giving you something like a forward progress on the match.
Okay.
How much you're doing towards the other team.
Gotcha.
Which is good, because one of the big things I keep seeing complained about is people feeling like playing killer is like not as rewarding, I guess. Outside of people who just like playing killer, they feel like a lot is put against them when they want to play killer. So there's less people playing killer than there is people playing survivor, which has unbalanced. There's some nights where it takes like 20 minutes to get into a match. Other nights it's like instant. But except for around rank 12, for some reason, me and Cody both had issues as soon as we hit rank 12. We fucking couldn't find matches for a while until we got past that. But I think they're trying to implement things to make playing killer feel a little more, I guess, positive.
Rewarding.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I gathered here, I haven't seen the rest of this.
And then I assume that the amount of like marks then equals like everyone's dead if that thing fills up. Because just
probably because you can only throw people on the hook so many times. So that's probably what it is. When it fills up, you probably killed them all.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to look at how many, but that's probably the case. Also could help you towards if you're doing like a daily and you need to throw so many people on a hook in that match, or the way it may affect your ranking.
Gotcha.
For survivors,
I'm glad I've played the game enough that I can kind of answer that question.
Which is displayed on the actual player status widget. This tells your fellow survivors how many times your teammates have been hooked.
It's a costume.
This way you can know whether or not it's worth it to go in for that save or not.
So this is really interesting. I noticed this instantly when they first showed the UI. They're now showing this counter, so you can tell, they just said this, but how many times someone's been on a hook. Anybody who's playing this game regularly is already keeping track of this, but I think this is better for people who might just have gotten into the game.
Right.
You can kind of have a better sense of it, or maybe you have been spacing out and you didn't notice that somebody got hooked. I also kind of noticed as things are happening, it also shows their face, which is huge, because before it just has their names up here. And like me and Cody would play together, and I'm like, is this you playing Nia? And Cody's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. It's kind of like if you're not doing voice chat, you might not know who the fuck's who.
Right.
Now you can actually see who's playing who, and I saw these things change as well as things are happening to them. So this is actually like small but huge.
It's a lot of communication happening.
It almost feels like too much compared to what I'm used to, but I won't complain because it's kind of neat.
It's worth it to go in for that save or not. As well as giving you a general idea of
there's all sorts of shit happening over here now.
Another feature that we have is the healthy and injured states for players have been replaced with portraits of those characters. So from at a glance, you'll be able to see who's playing as Claudette, who's playing
that's
Nia, awesome. Which Dwight is in the closet, exactly.
All right. I think there's one more thing as well that has been asked forever, and you're very happy about.
I am thrilled to announce this one. Along with this update, we are releasing 2 new settings, which allow players to control the scale of their menus and HUD. So no longer will your UI scale be determined by your screen resolution. You can control it yourself.
That's awesome.
All right, so just to wrap this up, this new UI change is
a game like that, I don't really need the HUD that much, so awesome minimizing it makes sense.
In the future, do you have anything else to add, Sarah?
Yeah, so we know this is a big change. it's gonna take us all a little bit of time, I think, to get used to the new placement. That's natural and expected part of any change. We've all been looking at this particular HUD for 5+ years at this point, so there's going to be a period of adjustment. However, this new layout is going to allow us a lot more breathing room to add new features and expand what we can do for you guys in the future.
Awesome. So this is not the final form. That's what you're saying.
No, we have lots of new ideas that we're excited to share with you guys.
I'm glad that game that's been
in
out
the
this
next,
long and has grown in popularity.
couple months
They're
and
still
years
like
to come.
5 years in, changing
Can't
the
really
UI
talk
Yeah.
and stuff like
much
that.
of it right now, but we are excited. To
Also
share
shows the
all
game's
of it.
healthy. So
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
I'll
so much
definitely
for
plan to
joining
people
us
play it.
today, sir.
One thing I was reading
Happy
too
to
is
be
they
here.
want to make the game start to feel more
So,
realistic.
welcoming
So I think they're going to start
Ethan, game
slowly
designer
making
on
the
Dead
game
by
look and
Daylight.
play more realistic. But
Hello,
they don't want to
Ethan,
fuck
and
with
welcome.
timing, speeds, and shit like that.
Ethan,
Yeah,
we're closing
they'll
up
probably
on
do
the
a
PTB
Damn.
release,
engine
so do you
overhaul.
want to tell us what's in store for the clown?
Yes, this is actually the first moment we're actually confirming that the clown update is going to be in this PTB. And so I can talk a little bit more about that teaser trailer that Dylan showed us a while ago. The purple bottles are staying the same. So you can play clown the way you're used to. You throw a purple bottle, people get intoxicated, they slow down, you can hit them. You can switch to throwing yellow bottles, and they have no effect until they turn yellow. So the gray cloud is like a placeholder until it turns yellow and activates. Any player entering a yellow cloud gets extra movement speed for a period of time. So it's called the afterpiece antidote. And
Even
if you're
survivors?
intoxicated by a purple cloud and you hit a yellow one, then it will remove that effect.
That's
And
interesting.
we're not just changing those bottles, we're also going to reduce the amount of time it takes to reload. That's going to be 3 seconds now. Yay! Everybody cheer! Yay! I can hear it.
Yay.
I can hear it.
I feel like that
So,
motherfucker was
Ethan,
throwing
what
those things
was the
constantly.
idea, with adding a new type of gas to the clown's kit?
Well, we wanted to increase potential for interesting plays with him, and we already like the way the purple bottles work, so we thought let's give him 2 bottles. And since the purple ones are you throw it someplace and it says you don't want the survivors to go there, so you put a negative. The opposite would be you put a bottle someplace where you would like it if survivors went there, so you give them an encouragement. So if there's a dead end over here and there's a pallet over here, you throw a yellow here, and then the survivor's like, do I go for the pallet or do I go for the yellow?
Yeah, I
which is
feel
better?
like somebody who
Make
gets
it a
that
little bit
down
more
is going to be
cognitive
really
load for the players.
effective.
Yeah.
And then if this,
It's
if the
just-
Because
clown
he's
is
already
there,
really
then
annoying.
he is
Bait.
also going to pick
Yeah.
up some extra speed. So it's
Just that you can start
create
kind of
more, more
determining where
interesting
people are going to start
gameplay
going is
All right, so
Interesting.
remember when we tested the skill-based matchmaking back in summer? Well, it's coming back. Ethan, you have more info.
Yeah, so the matchmaking system is no longer going to be based on your rank. It's going to be based on back-end calculated skill level. And one of the great things about this is it means that each killer you play will have a different setting for this. So if you're like an absolutely amazing hillbilly player and you destroy everybody, and then you say, I want to learn how to play nurse, and you're terrible with her at the moment, you're not going to be playing against rank 1 survivors while you're trying to figure out how to play the nurse.
Rank
So it's
1's
going
the
to be
highest.
better for
I
survivors.
kind of figured
it
when
should
you
be
said
better for
12 to
killers.
11.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going to stop
Because of
before.
Yeah, start at 20, you go down to
something
1.
to do with ranks. So as soon as the new matchmaking system goes live, we will be switching ranks to be a reward system where, depending on the highest rank you reach during the month, you will get blood point rewards. And then at the end of
That's
each
cool.
month, your rank will reset to 20, and you'll build your way back up again. And just to be clear, your rank is not going to determine your matchmaking. So when we reset you to 20, it's only for the rewards, not for who you get put into games with.
That's interesting.
All right,
There's
so,
skills kind
those
of on a
rank
separate
rewards, they're
scale
also-
than-
Yeah, so right now the way it works obviously is there's different things that determine proceeding in your rank or going back in your rank or maintaining your rank. And it's a little complicated, but not too much. But as you go, further down, it's ranking you against other people in that area. Sometimes it's pretty fucking general though. I've been 14 against level 3s and shit, but it doesn't happen very often. And this is something they had before he kind of talked about already, but I wasn't playing when that happened. it's like you're ranking based off who you're playing specifically. So if you're awesome with this guy, you're gonna play against other awesome people, and if you're not great, you're gonna play against people who are not great with that person. So it's not an overall rank anymore. And then like you said, like ranking now is just gonna be a reward system.
Basically, it's a battle pass.
Kind of seems like it, even though they do have a battle pass in the game.
Right. It's not. Yeah, just functionally because it
Rewarding
resets constantly.
time investment,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if it is going to be time investment or not now, because before it was based off of a bunch of shit. It might still be based off that shit, but not determine who you're playing against. So hopefully they keep it similar, because I thought that was a really neat system. Let me know in the comments if you're a Dead by Daylight player and you know how that's going to work. But yeah, overall, I think that's pretty neat, because it is kind of a deterrent when you play someone you're really good with, and then you're like, I don't want to go back and play that person because I'm not very great with them. And you have to start from, low level and have to unlock perks to that person. It kind of sucks.
Especially if you're higher rank at that point, because you're going to get forced against people who are good.
Yeah, if I'm like fucking a super high rank, whatever, hillbilly, like he said, and then I go to play the nurse and I haven't played her at all, and I'm level 1 with her and I have no perks unlocked for her, I'm already at a disadvantage. That's going to affect my rank now when I start losing with her.
Yeah.
So this is, I think it sounds like a better system. But if anyone has like counter arguments to that, let me know, because genuinely curious.
So separated between killer and survivor, so you can basically get those rewards twice if you
Absolutely.
get to high rank.
Oh, interesting.
On both.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so
Another reason to play
I've
killer.
heard that the clown is not
Which
the
is,
only one
great.
getting
That's one thing
changes.
they got to
Do you
work
wanna-
on, because people
you
who
wanna
play
add
killer
a
just
little
like
bit
playing
on this?
killer.
I
The
would
people who
love
don't
to.
really
We've
play killer or
got
don't want
true
to, there's
visibility
no
coming up
incentive to
from
do
the Wraith,
it.
which means that if
Or
you are
minimal
more than
incentive.
24 meters from him, you can't see him at all. Not even a little bit.
Oh shit,
But
hold on.
once he gets
Wraith's
within
like
60
invisible
meters, you'll
now?
If you are more...
To high ranks on both.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so I've heard that the clown is not the only one getting changes. Do you wanna add a little bit on this?
Oh no.
I would love to. We've got true invisibility coming up from the Wraith, which means that if you are more than 24 meters from him,
Oh, it's
you
a
can't
range
see him
thing.
at all. Not even a little bit. But once he gets within 16 meters, you will see the shimmer that you see now. And between 24 and 16, it will increase from being nothing to what you see now. So you will no longer be able to see the Wraith off in the distance on the map.
So he has to be on top of you.
Bobbing around.
Yeah, which kind of is freaky, because like he's already like there's he has to ring a bell to come out of invisibility.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fair in that sense, but it's also kind of shitty because like that gives him a lot of like stealth ability, because a lot of times I'll be working on a generator, I look out in the distance and you can see his silhouette moving around still. It's hard to see, but you can still see him. So now you're just not gonna be able to fucking see him, which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Another
that
thing
guy in action
that
before.
we're fixing
Yeah, he's annoying.
is the trapper's traps. I don't know how many of you have done the math, but if you have a 25% chance to escape from a trap, that's only like a 60% chance to escape in the first 4 times. It's around 60. Somebody's going to quote me on it being wrong because it's 63 or whatever, but
Around that. Yeah.
it's around that. And you have a 10% chance of still being in the trap after like 10 attempts. It doesn't feel good. So we've changed it.
I've seen some people
so
stuck
that
in the trap for a
now
while.
we'll take 1 to 6 attempts. When you step in the trap, we choose whether it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and then that's how many times it will take. So it's never going to take more than 6. This does mean that your rough chance of escaping each time is 16%. So the first attempt is going to be a little less likely, but it will never go to the long tail on the other side either. So on the whole, it's going to be better for everybody.
All right, Ethan, so we're changing a couple of perks in this update. Do you want to go over what we're touching?
Yeah, sure. We have a list, and it includes Diversion, also known as Pebble, Fixated, Hex Undying, Iron Maiden, Open-Handed, and Second Wind. This is a list of perks we said we were going to update soon a while back on a dev stream, and they have made it through the pipeline, and here they are.
All right. Introducing Guillaume, game designer on Dead by Daylight. Welcome in, Guillaume.
Hi, Gab. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Guillaume is here today to discuss the upcoming animation changes. Can you explain to us why we're changing these animations?
After 4 years, almost five, we felt that the game needed animation side. We needed to update those animations, just like
Yeah.
a visual update and a bit of love to these system as well. Not only the animation themselves, but the systems to be able to support any other features moving forward. So we updated some of the animation and mostly the locomotion for survivors.
All right. So can you give us some examples?
That is, and I'm stoked to see what they're doing with that. But like, that's the one thing. Like, I have to remind people the game's been out for a while. It's super popular and shit. But I'm like, when this game came out, dude, it was like small team, kind of like janky, and it's still, when you look at it, reflects a lot of that. They put a lot back into the game, like, you know, systems wise, killers, you know, survivors, all that shit. But like the way characters move and stuff is still kind of ridiculous looking. So I'm glad that they're finally, you know, fucking around with that.
Of what's coming.
Well, basically it's locomotion. So the idle stance of our tractors, both male and female, the run, the walk, the crouch, the injured state, but also transition when you move from one direction to another. We added those transition.
That is a lot more
also new
subtle looking.
crawling animation with new turns and a recover animation.
So
before people could just
when
be on
we're
the ground, like,
talking
kind of spinning
survivor
around while laying there and
locomotion, what
shit.
kind of gameplay change should we expect with these changes?
In terms of gameplay, actual gameplay, it should have not changed at all. I mean, that's the idea, and that's the reason why there's a game designer talking about it as opposed to an animator, because it's mostly animation work, technical animation. But one of the goals was to not change the actual gameplay and how locomotion and navigation works in terms of speeds, turn rates, accelerations, and things like that. But we definitely wanted to improve the looks, change the stance, the way the character moves in terms of body movement and aesthetics.
All right, and so we're talking
it's a
about
lot less
locomotions, which
stiff
normally
looking.
would be in movement.
It's not
right?
it's not a huge difference,
Are
but it's
other
enough to be like
animation also
makes it look
changed?
a lot
For
more
example, cleansing
natural.
totem,
Well,
entering
if they
lockers,
keep rolling
I
out
don't
stuff
know,
like that,
throwing a
as a
pebble,
whole, it's just going to start looking
teabagging,
better.
things
So.
like that.
When he kind of said too, this is so they can roll out
Most
more
of them
things
no,
later.
because they're interactions, and we did not touch interactions because this is, again, it's a different topic. It has a heavy impact on gameplay, and this is something else for the future. Though, like teabagging, for example, which is crouching, which is a locomotion, kind of a gameplay. We did update that animation. Well, actually, before there was no animation at all. It was just a blending. So we put in an animation, and we kind of iterated on it to make sure that teabagging still feels satisfying to our players. We did change that, but it should play the same.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Guillaume. And I think that's the awkward moment where we say bye. Please don't keep that.
They did it.
Yeah.
The teabagging animation, as they're talking about, kind of sad actually about that, because it's kind of a tradition in the game where fucking if like everybody makes it to the end, they'll like wait for the killer, and then like you just like tap the button and they go like up and down really fast, and it looks really fucking stupid. And people like walk like that, and they kind of look like a fucking like some kind of weird chicken thing. And even though the animation looks way better, it was smoother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people are still gonna do it. I'm gonna miss the jank of that fucking original teabagging.
Better record some now then.
Yeah, I should probably do that. All right. So, as somebody who doesn't play the game, did you take anything from that at all?
What I took from it is that the game is well past the life expectancy, I would say, of a lot of games, and still is doing just fine because they are still putting development into the game. So that's a good sign. Also means they have a passion for the game, which I appreciate from any developer, just because they could very easily just be like, we're making a second game. This one's not getting worked on anymore. And a lot of companies do take that route. I do think we are in a time in gaming where like you can make a game and like give it for lack of a better wording, MMO treatment and give it that 10-year plan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, outside of MMOs, the only other company I knew that really did stuff like that was like Valve.
yeah.
Because their engine, they like, well, it's not to the same degree, but like they're using the same engine for all these games, but they made the engine malleable that they could keep kind of like getting newer and better looking games out of it on the same engine. I guess on Unreal as well, but yeah, outside of that, MMOs are kind of like the blueprint for the ever updating game.
Yeah, and they usually have that life expectancy of like the 10-year. That's where you're aiming for. Obviously, it keeps making money; they'll keep going. But you know, the whole idea, and even games like Destiny and stuff like that, they kind of have that idea too, where they want ideally for the game to last that long. It's just they turned around and started making sequels. Fortunately, Destiny's not slapping Destiny 3 out there anymore. But
they were gonna when they're under fucking Activision.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. Now they have it, and they're probably going to start, hopefully, doing the same thing you're seeing in this regard, which...
they already came out and said they're not interested in making Destiny 3 as of right now. They want to support the game. So.
Which is good, and I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really... It kind of sucks when you have to like start all the way over in something. As exciting as to get like something new, if you're already playing and loving something and it has a full like community, then the game's healthy, there's no reason to leave. So
yeah, unless the game is being held back by limitations, if people are playing it, though, they're playing it. But I can also understand as like a creative person the idea of like not wanting to still work on the same thing.
For sure,
there's kind of a business versus creative integrity thing going on there. But at the same time, like we are at a time where if your community's not dying, or even if it starts thriving at some point, and you have the capabilities and an engine that can support it, why wouldn't you just keep that game going? That's something I've argued about when it comes to even games like Call of Duty for a long time. I'm like, people bitch about these games doing the same thing over and over again. Why wouldn't you just like release like a zombies package and release new zombie modes and different variants of it there and stuff like that? So a lot of things could benefit from that.
I think sports games fall into that too.
Yeah, unless
you
you
can
make
just
huge
sell a
differences.
roster every year.
Yeah. Anytime something new changes, sell it as a DLC or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're not upgrading the graphics, and a lot of times I hear like they're fucking downgrading them, there's no need.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for that, $60, $70, $80 price point.
Yeah, I just think, and so going back to the liking seeing devs do that, I think it's more consumer friendly for a person to be able to just own a product and be able to get as much life out of it as possible. And when you add more stuff to it, you can sell it in chunks that is more accessible to the mass majority of people versus like not everyone wants to go out and spend now $70 a pop on something. So, so yeah, glad to see that.
Well, and even on a financial basis, if you are monetizing your game outside of the initial purchase, or even if it was free to play, supporting it longer just allows the people who are already comfortable in that game to continue spending that money.
Exactly, because they're already there. They're enjoying the product.
They're part of the community. They're at home. They already kind of expect and know what you expect from them financially, and they're more comfortable with that. You make a second game, maybe it's not as good as the first one. Maybe they're still at home with the first game. Maybe they won't play the second game so much. There's just a lot of variables involved.
Yeah, and trust goes into
for
that
sure
as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then like to go to the UI stuff. From what I've gathered and the little bit you've explained to me about it, where they're putting more communication on the screen. As someone who doesn't often do voice chat in games because I don't want to interact with most people, the more information that I am able to get on screen, the better.
Yeah.
So I think that's just nothing but a positive. And for people who already have the systems in their head, it's not taking anything from them either. So that's just a win-win. Adjusting UI scale customization is always a good thing, so it's another good step. And then I don't know anything about the balance changes, but the little bit you were saying, and I'm sure you'll go into it when you say your thing, it seems like they all are positive. So overall, I think it's good. And I hope that they can kind of continue that kind of, at least in my eyes, positive momentum. I would love to hear counter arguments to any of that stuff. If anyone who does play wants to put it in the comments below, I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this game. So.
Well, and I've only gotten back into it, so I'm not like full on board with every little detail of the game, but I'm pretty comfortable with the game at this point again. Yeah. But But yeah, if you're like, well, that does seem cool, but it's actually not because of this, like, let us know in the comments. Like, genuinely, I want to know
For sure.
if there's something within the community where people are like, wow, we're not very excited about this. Like, let me know about that for sure. But a lot of it does sound really neat. I already went over most of the stuff that I thought as we watched it, but I love the new UI change. I do think it's a lot of info. Like, it almost feels OP in my opinion because of how much we weren't getting before. And I was relaying that through, talking to people, but some people don't want to talk to each other or not talking to people they don't know, playing a game with them. So it is cool to get that info every once in a while too. Like, somebody goes like, oh, have you been on the hook yet? And you're like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. And it's simple to do that. But at the same time, if you can just look at their name and see how many times they've been put on the hook, it's faster info.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's a good thing. It also looks clean. I like the way it looks. I also like that, a big thing I've been reading in the forums for a while now and just all over the place when it comes to this game is people always kind of feel like the killers are being like left behind in the way that they're supported and being exciting to play and stuff like that. And of course, people who enjoy playing killer are going to play killer, but it's not as enticing for certain people. And so that they're, making the Wraith invisibility fucking ridiculous will be very attractive to people who like to play Wraith or people who might want to try it. The Clown with his new potion, I think is really fucking interesting. Because he's already annoying as fuck, but now he's going to have a separate thing to use that can be a benefit to him, but also can be a benefit. There's a balance to it. For the survivors, they can run through it, and if they're irresponsible with the way they use that potion, the survivor could hit that and fucking get the hell out of there quickly.
Right.
So, and there's some people out there who play Survivor very aggressively, so I could see it happening. So I think it's actually a really cool way to kind of mix it up. I noticed since the last time I played, way more people play Clown now than they used to. So there seems to be, people wanting to play him. So now this will definitely change things up. I'll be curious to see if it's a positive or a negative. I also like the hook counter for the killer. It's not a huge thing in my opinion, but it is cool to give them some positive progression in a match. I think they make a really good point of that, and it does sound like they're trying to address some of the stuff of just being by yourself going against 4 people and possibly maybe feeling demoralized while fighting against people, specifically if you're not like great at the game. Maybe you're new to the game and you're like, well, I don't know, I'm not very good at killer. Giving you all these little things to be able to see your progression, not just go, oh fuck, the generators are going away, I'm about to lose. I think is a really good thing, and it's something that doesn't change things too much, which I think is good. It's really subtle. So there's a lot really subtle changes, which I think is a good thing. All the stuff they're changing when it comes to balance, I think, are good. Specifically with the traps. The traps, I don't walk into the traps very often. I'm pretty good at avoiding them, but I have been in them. I get lucky and I get out pretty quickly. But I saw somebody stuck in a trap for fucking days trying to get out of it, and
that's impossible.
And yeah, they still have a range of where you can be in there for a little bit longer, but not to the point where you could have before, and that's good. They've gotten rid of that extended time of being in a trap because that's just like fucking annoying and not fun. And if you're in there for that long, and the killer would have to be really bad to have not walked over and got you already. I'm really excited about the animations. I think it's really cool they're doing that. I think that is one of the remnants of the original jank of the game that's been there since I've played it. I know they've been doing graphical updates to maps in the game per map to make them look better graphically, change the lighting, stuff like that. It only makes sense that they would make the animations better. Hopefully they'll go back through and do it for killers as well, but killers are interesting because they have different animations, whereas the survivors across the board are the same. So it makes sense for them to focus on Survivor and make them look better, which they do seem a lot better in their animations. So that's really cool. Overall, though, this is really cool. I'm really stoked for it. I'm actively playing this game quite a bit right now. So whenever this rolls out, it will be a reason for me to continue to play it. I think Cody's just telling me today he's fucking completely fucking still like addicted to it. So yeah, overall, I'm super stoked for this. I think it's awesome, and can't wait to see what else they bring out for it. Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right, let us know in the comments what do you guys think about this dev tape volume 1. What do you think about the updates they're implementing into the game? Which ones are you most excited for? Which ones do you think are not that great, if there is any of those? Is there any counter arguments to anything that they are changing? Yeah, do you play regularly? Do you not play regularly? Where do you play? And yeah, let me know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Dead by Daylight in the comments below. Second video we're going to watch is not this one, but Monster Hunter Digital Vent. This came out on the 7th, so it's been a couple days. And yeah, this is a video that's going to be, I actually don't know what they show in this. I do know that the demo came out, so I'm sure they announce it in this. But other than that, I don't know what they show in this. So I'm sure it'll be more Monster Hunter Rise info about the game. And yeah, anything you're thinking about when it comes to Monster Hunter Rise?
Not really. It's kind of weird sometimes because, like, with Monster Hunter World, I wasn't expecting it, and so when it got announced, I kind of followed it real closely. And with this one, I just already know I'm just gonna buy it, and so I've been kind of just not following it because I'm already sold.
Yeah, that's my problem too. People keep going like, "Oh, did you see this thing on Monster Hunter Rise?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm already gonna buy it. Like, I'm already ready to get it." So. And I want to go in like as blind as possible. Obviously, we're going to watch this and it's going to show some stuff, but like, I'm not looking up every single little detail.
For sure. And I don't like to do that too often, anyways.
Yeah.
Even like when Final Fantasy VII was coming out, I was like, "Holy crap! You guys slow down on the trailers, please." Like,
especially towards the end, they started really popping them out quickly, and they showed more and more stuff, and it was more and more exciting. But at the same time, too, the more you show, you're at risk of showing too much.
yeah.
I think it's one thing Cyberpunk did very well, was not show too much, although I think some would argue they didn't show enough of what, people saw eventually that they didn't like. But I think they did a really good job on, like, showing a lot without showing too much, and that is something I was kind of get worried about. I mean, I think the biggest example of that is Watch Dogs. I always bring that one up because by the time I played Watch Dogs, they had shown so much I felt like I played the game, and we followed Monster Hunter World for fucking... since it was announced, every video, blah blah blah. This game I am being a little more relaxed because like you said, like I've said, now I'm sold on it. I don't need to know every little thing about it. And
yeah, actually I haven't even downloaded the demo.
I have downloaded it, I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I listened to someone talk about their experience with it, and they said no, nothing negative. They said they played each fight once and they were like, I got my fill, and I'll wait for the game to come out. Like, that's just pretty much it. Like, obviously it's a lot easier to like make a video and get more views if you got the hype behind it. But I really appreciate that he was like, yeah, no, it was fun. I'm gonna pick it up. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I play Hammer. It's the only thing I tried. I fought everything once. It was neat. Like,
yeah, my biggest curiosity about Monster Hunter Rise, because I already know I'll like it, but my biggest curiosity about it is where it lands when it comes to how it plays. Because the original Monster Hunter games play a very specific way, and that's the way I was used to for a long time. Monster Hunter World really fucking spoiled me, and how streamlined it is, and how buttery smooth it plays.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is going to be like an in-between of those two things, because it doesn't look like it plays just like the older games, but it also doesn't look like it plays like the newer game, but it looks closer to the newer game to me.
Yeah.
With some of the systems and menus feeling a little more old school. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels when I play the demo finally.
for sure.
But yeah, when it comes to this video though, we've already kind of established like where we're ready to buy the game. So really just any features, maybe weapons that they might show off, or new monsters. I'm sure they'll show a new monster off here, at the very least one. I'm excited to see. But outside of that, I'm ready for it. So
For sure.
yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's jump into this. This is Monster Hunter Digital Event, January 2021. We're in 2021. I keep forgetting that. All right, let's go.
Oh, that's my pup.
That was a weird voice. No, that's my pup. Oh, yeah. I love the Japanese, Asian aesthetic of this game.
Yeah, I remember even when the first teaser came out for it, I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
This is for my fellow hunters.
So we got English voice acting. Very interesting.
Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Ryozo
Is it?
Tsuchimoto. producer on the Monster Hunter series. Today, I'll be telling you a bit more about the upcoming Monster Hunter Rise. Hope you enjoy the show.
I will.
We have a new trailer for you today, so have a look.
He's here. He goes away. Comes
That
back.
was a quick fade.
Yeah. Hi, bye. Ooh. A fucking leg. That was a horror movie.
Leave all your bloody
fucking
needs
party.
to me.
Palicos, it has to be.
Yeah, those motherfuckers party. Whoa. Love the idea of like having a mount.
Yeah.
Like Monster Hunter World kind of played with it a little bit.
Especially like when they implemented being able to actually like hop on the back. Of
Yeah.
things, so.
Gombi.
Like an angry bear bunny.
Fucking
Ew.
That's a Silent Hill monster. Great baggy. Very nice. I like Lagombi.
Yeah. Hi. Hello.
Damn.
This is gonna be good.
What the fuck?
Okay.
That's cool. I was wondering what the fuck he was doing.
I'm gonna ride this monster jutsus.
I love that they're adding so many new features to this game. Like, it really makes it feel like, of course, if you're into Monster Hunter, you're gonna fucking own them all. But like, if you're coming from Monster Hunter World, it feels there's like a huge incentive to play this game.
Yeah.
Because it's like a different experience completely.
Oh, that's cool.
That was really cool.
Oh.
It's gonna be cool to play fucking Monster Hunter on like a mobile console again too. Which is weird for me to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan, but like at the same time, I have this weird, I kind of miss that.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on with the Switch.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Minus the fucking worm head monster.
Yeah, that thing was fucking gnarly.
Hope you enjoyed this new trailer. Now let's go into a bit more detail about the things we just showed off.
You
Take
going
it away.
again? Yep. Bye.
This guy just kind of stops by and he's like, hey, you know, I know you guys want to hang out with me, but I stopped by, said hi, and now I gotta go.
Let's start with the locales. We just showed off the Frost Islands.
Yeah, it looks cool.
This used to be a nest of huge dragons a long time ago, and it is said many heroes came here to try and slay them to no avail. It has kind of a creepy atmosphere.
That worm boy.
There's a large variety of endemic life in each locale. They can help you out in various ways, so make sure to use them on your
No
hunts.
spider puppy?
I like the bear bunny.
Yep. Lagombi.
Let's have a look at the monsters that live here. This is Gos Harag, one of the new monsters.
That would be. It's an ugly motherfucker.
Gos Harag is a creature that lives in icy regions, roaming the snowy
I
fields
love how even the
for
monsters
prey.
have they stay in
It's a
theme
fanged
with
beast that
the rest
attacks
of the game too.
hunters
So
using blades of ice that
obviously,
it
with
creates
the
with its
exception of
own
like classic
breath.
monsters,
It's interesting. Makes a fucking blade out of ice. Whoa. That was a crazy move.
Next up is the Flying Wyvern, Barioth.
Yeah. Hello again.
It is a fearsome monster with huge fangs and sharp spikes.
Very cool.
The spikes on its front paws and tail are
Like the design
actually
of that one.
scales that it
Unless I'm
uses
completely
to
wrong.
freely
I fought
move
him in
around
World
on
and I
icy
hated it.
surfaces.
Could just be similar too. I'm sure someone will correct me, but I'm bad with names.
Next is a Flying Wyvern.
I fucking hate this
Kezu.
thing.
Yeah, that thing's nightmare fuel.
It's straight out Resident Evil, fucking Silent Hill.
This is a creepy monster that mainly lives in dark places
Understood.
like caves.
I think it's probably one of the creepiest fucking monsters
Be
I've seen in
careful of
Monster
the
Hunter.
electricity it releases from its
He's a little
body
too, like,
and its
fleshy
long,
looking.
twisty neck.
Even like its wings look like little finger nubbins.
Even his fucking neck stretching out.
Yeah.
Now let's look at the Bird Wyvern, Great Baggy.
Look at that sweet hairdo.
That was a great baggy hairdo. Horn do.
It is characterized by its blue-white skin color and the large protruding crest on its head. It catches prey by dousing them with a fluid that knocks them unconscious,
Oh, lovely.
so you'll need to protect yourself against the sleep status effect.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Next up is the
Whoa.
fanged beast, Lagombi.
God damn.
This has like a koala-like appearance too.
And
It
a
uses its
sumo.
belly to glide around the snow like a sled, so you'll need to be quick on your toes to deal with it.
That's right, post up.
And now we move on to
Yeah.
the Flying Wyvern,
Yeah.
Tigrex.
That motherfucker.
Annoying as shit.
This is an extremely aggressive monster that uses its
Ride him now,
well-developed
though.
limbs to rush at its prey, dealing heavy damage with its claws and jaw.
That was neat that he hooked into the air, flew
Let's
through
look
the
at
air
some
first before
monsters from
striking.
other
Mm-hmm.
locales. First up is the Leviathan Mizutsune, a very uniquely evolved creature.
I love the way that thing looks.
Yeah, that's dope. I like all the bubbles too.
It secretes a special fluid that it can turn into bubbles by rubbing it against its body hair.
Bubble fluid. Bubble
These
bath.
bubbles will greatly hinder your movement.
So it's a bullet hell.
It's near automata.
Fucking water ray.
And here's the flagship monster of this game, Magnamalo.
Angry puppers.
He's an ugly motherfucker too.
Yeah. He just straight up looks like Samurai.
Magnamalo's body
Yeah.
is enveloped by a carapace hard as armor, and it attacks hunters with its tail and a type of gas that looks like hellfire.
A fucking flipping uppercut with his tail. So he has a spear. That's interesting. Puppy riding.
This is
Once you've
interesting.
met the unlock requirements, you'll be able to use your wirebug to bind monsters to use a feature called Wyvern Riding. This lets you use Iron Silk to control wild monsters. You can even use this to make a monster attack other monsters.
I literally just found an excuse for you to be the wyverns.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now let's have a look at your base. where you'll get to meet a bunch of colorful characters who will help make your hunting life a lot more interesting.
Very cool looking.
In a tree. It's the
This
commander
is
from
Fugen,
Marvel.
the village elder. He is deeply trusted and respected by the villagers, and he's a certified longsword wielder as well.
Oof.
These are the village quest and hub quest maidens, Hinoa and Minoto. They are Wyverian
also giving me
twins,
near vibes.
beloved throughout the village. Their songs bring peace to the villagers'
Giving
hearts.
me fucking creepy
and Minoto
vibes.
has even taken up painting recently. This is Yomogi, a cheerful young girl
Oh, yeah.
who runs the local tea shop.
Mochi.
Guys, earlobes are
This
fucking
is
wild.
Guildmaster Hojo, the oldest man in the village and manager of all things quest related. He draws all of the quest notices that go up on the quest board.
He's just sitting on that thing all day.
This is Master Utsushi, leader of the hunters in the village.
That's it.
Yeah.
And this is Iori, the buddy handler.
The buddy handler.
He is a kind and
Best job.
pure-hearted
The
young
buddy.
boy who loves animals.
Ooh.
Best character.
This is Feline Chief Kogarashi.
Hell yeah.
He's in charge of deploying the Meowcenaries.
Meowcenaries. Fucking love it.
And this is Rondine, the trader. She came on a ship from a faraway country to make trade with the village.
To make
Your
trade.
base contains some facilities
Here to
to
make
make
trade.
your hunting life more interesting. This is the training area where you can try out weapon actions by attacking a variety of objects. You can even change the
pretty cool.
behavior of some of these objects. With the help of all the villagers, you'll have to take on the Rampage. We'll have more to share on the Rampage in the future.
The fuck is the Rampage?
Let's do a quick recap of the product information for Monster Hunter Rise.
Comes in a box.
The release date is March 26,
really soon.
2021. Yeah. There will be a standard edition and a deluxe edition that contains a set of recommended DLC.
All you motherfuckers keep
Supply is
asking me to
limited,
buy
but
fucking
there
Monster
will be
Hunter World
some
again on
exclusive
PC.
bonuses
You
like
guys need to buy
layered
Switch
armor
and
for
buy
your
this
Paladin
shit so we can play
and
it.
Palico, and a novice talisman that'll help out during the early stages of the game. Make sure to pre-order so you don't miss
Look at
out.
that fucking cat.
We
Yeah,
will
I don't-
also
I don't
release
like
3
that.
amiibo on the same day as the game.
That DLC.
I'm
that
going to
dog
hand the
there's
mic
normal
back to the
looking?
dev
Yeah,
team
the
because
same with the
they're
cat, except
anxious
fluffy
to tell you
cheeks, but-
about the demo.
I'm just not really. Takes me out of it.
Now I want to play the demo.
Hope you enjoyed that
Hold on
bevy
for
of
5
new
seconds.
information. I'd like to talk about the demo now, and with me here is Yasunori Ichinose, the director of the game.
Peace.
Hello everyone, I'm Yasunori Ichinose,
There's
the
no fate
director
or
on
anything.
Monster Hunter Rise. It's nice to be here. This demo has 4 quest types available. A beginner quest, an intermediate quest, a basic training quest, and a Wyvern riding training quest, which will help you get used to the new Wyvern riding feature. Of course, all 14 weapon types are playable.
Cool.
The beginner quest and the intermediate quest can of course be played solo, but they are also available in local co-op and online co-op.
Oh shit.
Interesting.
We should try it.
For this demo, you'll get to explore the Shrine Ruins. This is a great locale for learning about the wire bug and the new stat-boosting endemic life featured in this game. The beginner quest features Great Izuchi,
Damn.
while the intermediate quest has you take on Mizutsune, which we revealed today.
It's cool.
Of
that
course, you'll be able
it's
to
even
take
in
a
the demo,
Palamute and
for
or
sure.
Palico with you so you can experience riding a canine and receiving various kinds of support from your
And
buddies.
I'm gonna have to buy a Pro Controller.
The basic
worth it.
training
It's a
quest
huge
will
difference.
teach you how to use the wire bug. And the Wyvern riding training quest will let you try out the new Wyvern riding feature. Wyvern
so just let you
riding
try
is
it
a
out,
new
but not release in
system that
practice?
allows you to control monsters for a while. By dealing enough damage through aerial attacks or silkbind attacks
you
using
get
the
to try
wire
it out
bug.
there, yeah.
Or by using turf wars or endemic
smash.
life to your advantage. While controlling wild monsters,
Smash
you can
you.
move around
I
and
smashed
attack,
you.
and you can even slam them into walls. So this is definitely something you'll want to check out.
It's interesting. He just has them tethered.
That's all for the demo.
Yeah.
The demo
I
will
thought
be
he was just
released
gonna
on
be
the date
outta here.
shown on screen. It will only be available for a limited time, so we hope you download it and give it a try. After this show, we will release some new videos that'll teach you about the wire bug and Wyvern riding. Check those out if you want to see these new features in action. Thank you for joining us today. We will have more to share with you on Monster Hunter Rise in the future, so stay tuned.
All right. Anything else? Any big surprises? What are all this shit?
Trailer.
Is that the same one we watched? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So, what do we think?
I mean, it looks cool. I don't know. I'd be really surprised if they showed it off and I was like, I don't know about that. They literally showed what I wanted to see, new features. I love the aesthetic things. Even though I hate the fleshy worm thing, it is cool looking. I just am very grossed out by it.
Yeah, I'm not going to feel bad at all for killing that thing.
Yeah, no.
Although I'm curious about what the fucking armor and weapons will look like from that thing.
For sure.
Because I don't want to look like a goddamn fucking worm
And
thing.
Honestly, it's probably the thing I'm most looking forward to this Monster Hunter is, as much as I love Monster Hunter World, the weapons and armor left something to be desired. So I am hoping they go back to kind of just like fully embracing like
getting crazy.
That armor came from that guy, and you're gonna know. Like
I'll be curious to see how they handle that, because I do hope that they heard that and go back and kind of fix that for people, because that is the one big complaint with Monster Hunter World, and it's a fantastic, great game, but that is the one thing that could have been better.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it too much, but yeah, if you played the prior games, it does feel like almost a step back.
Well, it's not even that they tried something different. It's that there's so many recycled assets throughout within itself even. And I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah, and it's less exciting when you get something new and it's like kind of like similar to something you've already had.
Minus maybe like one piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
or there's different colors from like that, different element.
Yeah, it's just not exciting, like you said.
So hopefully that does fix that. I mean, I'm looking here and everything looks pretty crazy, so I'm hoping they do put some work into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we said at the beginning, I'm already sold. So I mean, like, I'm looking forward to trying out the new features. The Wyvern riding seems like a nice play on. You could technically ride the monsters in World, but you didn't control them so much as you like point them in a direction and then make them go forward. Seems like they're kind of taking that idea, going a little crazier with it, which is cool. I also like that when you get off, it tethers under the ground. It looks like.
Honestly, I got some. It's kind of odd, but I got some fucking Metal Gear Rex versus Ray vibes. When he was like on that thing fighting the other guy. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and then the aesthetic of the game is a huge.
It's awesome. Yeah,
turn on for me. I like the. I love that even the monsters, specifically the new ones, they just look like something you would see in a Japanese story. So, very cool.
Yeah, I love how much of a departure this is from Monster Hunter World, because when we do get a Monster Hunter World 2, I assume it'll be more in line with the aesthetic of the first game. But I like this game is not trying to be Monster Hunter World. It's trying to be its own game, own world, own place, like own monsters. Even though, of course, stuff like Tigrex and other things are coming back over here.
Yeah, and Rathalos will be in it.
Yeah, all that shit. Aesthetically and everything like that. It's very different. It also has its own features, which is really cool. So, Gombe's awesome. He's my favorite monster. I saw in that whole video. The other one, I forgot their name already. Mitsi something. The bubble.
The very elegant looking one.
That one's really fucking cool as well. Really stoked to fight them. It also seems like all the monsters, I know, like, the further you get into Monster Hunter, any of them, like, they get more aggressive and more difficult, but, like, all the ones they've shown so far seem really, like, distanced aggressive. Like, they're, like, fucking lunging across everywhere and, like, shooting stuff at you and stabbing and stuff, and it's pretty cool to see, because some of them can be pretty, and this is probably ones you run to later or something like that, but, some of them can be kind of easy, I guess.
Yeah.
So
they definitely have a pretty good pacing on, like, working you up to those crazy mechanics. So
yeah. His visual style, I'm not in love with it. I think he's kind of ugly, honestly, but I also kind of like how, like, samurai armor-esque he looks.
Yeah.
Also, his moveset I thought was really neat. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page as you, of course. This game, first day buy for me. I need to play the demo. We should do that at some point, talk about it on the show. Yeah, new location, looks really cool. New monsters look really cool. Of course, we talked about that. The big thing here, I think, that they really showed off that I wasn't expecting was the Wyvern riding, which looks like it'll be fun. It'd be interesting how that works in co-op when you're playing with other people. If one person can ride one, or if there's two, if two people can ride two different ones. I don't know how the fuck that's going to work. I don't see that happening, but to have one person just riding one and attacking one while the group's attacking the other one could be beneficial. Maybe you're trying to get both of them, so, like, you're using one to weaken the other one and then eventually take down the one you're riding.
I don't see why it would restrict you, to be honest.
I don't know either. I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna just assume that's a thing. But if so, it'd be cool. It'd be kind of weird though if you could just ride two and just make them hit each other.
I think that'd be kind of neat, actually.
It would be, but also at the same time, it seems like that can maybe be exploited and cheap feeling.
Sure, but if it's anything like the Clutch Claw, there's gonna be, like, systems in place to, like, not keep you on there forever.
For sure.
So
yeah, and that's what I assume. I'm also curious how the tether thing will work. When it showed the monster, like, tethered down, there's only, like, 3 things stuck to him. So I'm not sure how that works, because obviously when you're on him, you had, like, 4 set up. So maybe it's after you're done riding them. Maybe you can just put enough on there to not ride them but have them stuck. I don't know how it works, so that'll be interesting to see. And obviously in the demo I'll probably be able to find that out. But yeah, like I said, everything here looks fucking awesome. I'm really stoked to play this. I am really excited to see what the armors and weapons look like, and fight all the new monsters. And this game comes out fucking in, like, 2 months.
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
And we can see some of the armor sets there in the trailer, obviously. But it's always better to be able to like sit and look at a character who's sitting still versus one that's moving around. Like, that set, you could tell, looks very crazy, which I do appreciate. So.
Yeah, that set doesn't look like something you would get in Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
Yeah, borderline cartoony, but that's fine, because that's one thing that the OG Monster Hunters embraced, was the ridiculous aspect of the world. So, and that's not something necessarily that Monster Hunter World took away from, but it did definitely go for a more AAA realistic look to it. Yeah, I mean, even that source is pretty crazy looking. So, yeah, very excited for this game. Definitely gonna pick it up ASAP as soon as I can. Anything else you want to say on this?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Snow area look cool. You like that?
So snow areas are always cool at first, but like deserts, I get kind of tired of them.
I get tired of deserts, but sometimes people can nail them. Those are kind of a treat, because most of the time I fucking hate desert areas.
Yeah.
But when someone can make them interesting, I'm like, okay, you actually did it, because that's really hard to do. Snow's hit or miss. I think snow can be expected standard. I never like, oh god, a snow area. I'm always like, oh yeah, it's snowy, whatever. And then some places could be like really fucking cool.
My big complaint there is, and obviously there's stuff to look at like trees and stuff like that, which is great. But like a desert, you're just looking at one color, and that gets really boring really quickly for me.
Yeah, I do like the more like jungly areas and stuff like that. It's more interesting in my opinion. A lot like in most of them, but in Monster Hunter World, there's like a lot of verticality and stuff that made it really interesting as well. Whereas, some of the snow areas feel less like that. I guess, except for in Monster Hunter World, there's like the underground cave systems and shit, which is pretty cool. But
and I'm sure because this game does allow you to just climb things, there's gonna be plenty of stuff to like look at. Which is I'm not like worried about it, but I never get excited for snow areas because I just expect them to just be white.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Ngombi. That's dope as fuck. All right, anything else?
No.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of the Monster Hunter digital event. What was your favorite thing they showed off? Is there something we missed or didn't talk about enough? Let us know in the comments. I'm sure you will. Which monster was your favorite? Which monsters would you like to see return to this one? What do you think about the armor and weapon thing? Are you happy with how they handle it in Monster Hunter World, or do you want them to kind of go back to the more crazy, zany designs that were, I guess, more larger than life?
Which seem the more I keep checking the characters now, like they're going that direction because that great sword was pretty crazy.
It does, yeah, and they look very different, so which is very cool.
Yeah.
And what are some of your favorite features? What do you think about the Wyvern riding? And let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on social media. Links down below. Check out our Discord. You can talk to us anytime, all time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And we have a Patreon for anybody who'd like to support the channel, further than liking, commenting, and sharing this video and subscribing. If you're new, we just recently got like almost 70 subscribers in like the last week and a half, which is fucking wild. So welcome everybody who's new here, and of course everybody who's not. And stay tuned. We got episodes coming up later this week, or at least a episode. We'll be doing our best month of PlayStation Plus of 2020. It's a week later than I would have liked to film it, but we're still going to do it because that's a tradition around here. So stay tuned for that. And my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Until the next episode, have a good week, guys, and take it easy.